Well, I wonder how many people are searching YouTube for an iPhone app. It's a wood labyrinth that you can use on your iPhone, and it's a really cool app, but I'm going old school and working out in the wood shop and making a real wood labyrinth. For the playing surface, I'm going to use 1/8" plywood, just a scrap that I have lying around. And I'm going to cut that into a square piece, 12 inches by 12 inches, and for the bottom of the board, I've got hardboard that I'm going to use, and I'll cut it the exact same dimensions. Well, this is woodworking dedication today. It's December 12th, and it's really cold. It's about 50 degrees, and it is pouring down rain out. So I'll just stay warm and dry, as warm as I can in the shop. I've got a little propane heater set up, and I can get started on the frames. I've got some 1/2" thick lumber that I'm going to use for the frame, and I'm just going to rip this down to a little less than 1 3/4 inch wide strips. Set up like this, I want to make sure that I have about 1/4 inch at the top so that the ball doesn't roll off of the playing surface. So next I need to just cut a dado. With those dado cuts, I can slide the top piece in like so. For the bottom panel, I'm not going to cut a dado, I just want to cut a rabbet out here to hold that. So I want to make sure that my saw blade is set the same as it was for this dado, the same depth. Okay, so that gives me a rabbet for the bottom and a dado for the top piece. So in other words, the bottom will just slide up in like that, and the playing surface will slide into top piece. I've installed a 1/4 inch roundover bit in my router just to round over this top outside edge of the frame, just to give it a little bit better feel when you're playing the game. It's time to make a simple frame using just 45-degree angle cuts on each of the side pieces. So with all those frame pieces cut, I should be able to put the 1/8" plywood into those dado slots like so, and that'll make up the top. And then the bottom, with those rabbets cut, will hold this hardwood panel, which is the same size as the top panel. So there, got a, well, aside from it falling apart right now, that's basically what it's going to look like. I've gone ahead and cut up a bunch of strips of, this is oak, and it's 1/4 inch thick, and I've made 3/8 inch wide pieces, and these are what I'm going to use for little dividers. I'll need to cut those up. I almost forgot, I got to make a little hole for the ball retrieval. So I just grabbed one of the side pieces and I'm going to bore a pretty big hole just to make it easier for the ball to come out. Well, I guess if I'd planned that out a little better, I would have made that hole a little bit smaller so that lower shelf wouldn't show, but I don't know, it works. I've designed a little template to use so that I know where to drill all the holes and to set the little dividers in, and it's 2 sheets of paper that I've taped together to make an 11 by 11 inch square, and I wanted to set it in here. I still haven't glued it together because there's going to be a little bit of an overhang here where it slides into those dados. So this is going to fit out good, so I'll tape it down, drill all the holes, and then stick on the dividers. Also, if you noticed, I went ahead and stained all the side pieces. Now I made sure I didn't put any stain in here where I can glue it down. Right now I'm tapping a little pilot hole in the center of each of the circles so I can guide my Forstner bit through them. I'm using a 5/8 inch Forstner bit to drill the holes because my ball bearing is a 1/2 inch, so it should just drop in them like so. Now I've replaced my template, and I'm just taking a razor blade and scoring each of the spots where all the fences go. I'm using my miter box just to cut out these little fences for the dividers. Right now I'm applying a little bit of glue to the bottom of each of these little dividers and just setting them in place. This is a little tedious doing this, and to get them all lined up and square, I'm just pretty much eyeballing it how I think they ought to go. So here we go. I went ahead and stained the top and all of the dividers, now that the glue is dry on those, with golden oak stain, and all that's left to do now is apply a few coats of lacquer. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I'm a big fan of spray lacquer. So I like the fact that it dries quickly, you don't have to sand in between coats, and you can pretty much cover everything on a complicated surface like this really quickly. Well, there's a few coats of lacquer on that, and I've kind of smoothed it down with some steel wool so it's nice and smooth. I really like the stain on it. It kind of has a nice glow to it, and originally I was going to paint a line through the entire path just to indicate where the ball should go. That's kind of traditional on wood labyrinths, but and with a start and a finish written out on there. But I decided that it really kind of looks classy without that. It's not too hard to figure out where the start and finish is. So anyways, I haven't been able to make it all the way through it yet, but I did design it so where this first part is rather easy to get through, and as you go through it, it gets more and more difficult. So anyways, I like the way the ball pops out of the bottom. So thanks again for watching, and maybe you can build your own wood labyrinth.
I just smile. I go